Yeah, I post. So this is the work for number 1. This work for number 2. This work for number 3. Intermediate value theorem is big deal. Number 4, you need to know what the factorial is. Factorial is 3 factorial is means 3 times 2 times 1. 4 factorial means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Very, very cool stuff. So this is just an example of 6 factorial over 4 factorial. They can cancel out. If you write it out, 6 times 5 times 4 factorial can cancel. So those are things that you're going to deal with BC calc. So in BC, you're going to see a lot of those too, especially when we deal with sequence theory. Number 5, make sure you do a number line test. If you don't do number line test, you cannot get the right answer. So you have to write down number line test. Number 6 is very intuitive. Number 7, very important. Number 7 is always on the AP exam. It turns out this is a definition of derivative. You're going to see this on your mock exam. So make sure you understand this. Is limit h approach 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x over h. That's equal to f prime of x. If that's equal to that, guess what? You just have to identify what's f of x. In this case, I identify what's f of x is right here, which is absolute value of x. Now, obviously, they want to know what happened in 3 is because this one, they're looking for the f prime of x. That means you have to take a derivative of absolute value of x. I didn't teach you how to take a derivative of absolute value of x. Then that's the moment you say, oh, yeah, Mr. Ye never taught me. But then you actually understand how to graph absolute value of x. If you graph it, you're going to find out the slope is equal to 1, slope is equal to -1, slope is undefined at any of those points. Depends on which point you're talking about. We're talking about when x equal to 3, then that's going to be 1. If it's at 0, it's going to be undefined. If it's -2, then it's going to be -1. So if you know the graph, you know the slope, especially absolute value of x. So the question could be easily changed. If you just change to 0, then it's going to be undefined. If you change to -2, it's going to be -1. This will work for number 8, which is I will actually annotate this. I will annotate stuff like this. I will say that's horizontal tangent. That means f prime of x equal to 0. Point of inflection. That means f double prime of x equal to 0. I solve for double prime. I set it equal to 0. I get one of the things. I plug into the first derivative equal to 0. I solved it. X is equal to 1. Number 9, very important question as well, is you have to understand this graph, e to the x. Why you have to understand e to the x? Because e to the x reach infinity is equal to infinity, negative infinity is equal to 0. Now, if you know this, it's going to help you solve the problem. If I reach the horizontal asymptote is always reach infinity and negative infinity. The nice thing is when I reach infinity, you can divide by highest degree. So if I divide by highest degree, that's going to be 4 over 1. That's going to be 4. And that's it. Now the problem is the negative infinity. Negative infinity, this part is going to give me 0. So it'll be 4 times 0 plus 7 over 0 minus 1. So it's equal to -7. Okay, so this is the one other one that might be very important for some of you guys. Yeah.
You have to divide by all like the e to the x.
You don't have to. You can reach infinity. You'll find out it's 4 over 1 anyway. But it's going to be 4 infinity minus plus 7 over infinity minus 1. So the 7 and 1 no longer be significant. Just only the coefficient matters. So which is 4 over 1. I mean, you don't have to. Long as you can see it, you're fine. You don't even have to show me that much work. But I show you the work just to show you what happened, what I did. This is the amount of work I expect you to show. Some of you guys just kind of ABCD through all of them. And that's where I kind of will say, that's not really showing me a lot of things. Number 10. How many point close interval -3, 3 does instantaneous rate of change is equal to average rate of change? So instantaneous is f prime of x. Average is what? F of B minus F of A over B minus A. So let's do average rate of change first. Average rate of change is going to be e to the what? 9 minus e to the 9, right? Over, it doesn't matter, on the bottom. 3 minus -3, so it'll be 3 plus 3, so it's equal to 0. So average rate of change is equal to 0. So now I just have to take a derivative of this. So f of x equal to e to the x squared. So f prime of x equal to 2x e to the x squared. Does that make sense? And that's equal to 0. So it'd be 2x e to the x squared equal to 0. X is equal to what? Only 2x equal to 0. E to the x squared never equal to 0, according to the graph. So x is equal to 0. So, yeah. Is that answer?
Yeah. It's just saying how many times.
It's just B, right? I can actually find the answer. Answers.
F squared can never be equal to 0.
Yes, because of graph. Yes.
That's what I showed Sophia say. When I would I imagine the graph in my head, it was like it's always increasing. It's gonna be like
It's actually something like this. The reason why e to the x squared is like this, right? This is e to that. But if it's x squared, then this one becomes positive. So it's going to be both sides. It's going to be like this, just the middle part. So they never equal to 0. It doesn't matter what. Number 11, very important, mean value theorem. It's so important that you have to figure out f of 2 minus f of a -1 over 2 minus 1 plus 1, sorry. 2 minus -1 and equal to 3x squares, because f of b minus f of a over b minus a equal to f prime of c. It's the exact same question as this one, actually.
But we can't do it.
Yes, that's a part that you guys gonna get confused. So this one is gonna be 8 minus -1 over 3 equal to 3x squared. So it'd be 9 over 3, so it'd be 3 equal to 3x squared. X squared equal to plus equal to 1. X equal to plus minus 1. So x cannot equal to -1 because the endpoint, so x is equal to 1 only. So answer B.
Yes.
Very, very good question. And we say it's 10, 11, 12. Oh, this one's lovely. Between 1 to x. So first of all, I want to figure out what is g of 1. Well, g of 1 is just going to be integration of 1 over 1 of ft dt. That's always equal to 0. Does that make sense? And that says if you have g of what? That says let's say equal to 5, then that's integration from 1 to 5, which is that's roughly equal to this equal to this region, so that's equal to 2. That's equal to 2, right? And we say it's f5, and we're gonna say it's what is g of we did 5, 1, and we're gonna do -2. -2 is equal to from 1 to -2 of ft dt. Also equal to from -2 to 1 of ft dt. This one's gonna be negative. Does that make sense? You had to flip, right? Then that's equal to from -2 to 1 is gonna be that's 1, so 1.5, so it'd be -3 over 2, so positive 3 over 2. Does that make sense? That's good. And then go into what? Go into -4, so that's equal to 1 to -4 of ft dt. So that's equal to -4 negative to 1 of ft dt. So that's equal to negative Well, first part, this one is gonna be, this region is what?
A 2.
It's
Or
2, right?
negative 2, I guess.
Well, it's 2 because it's gonna be distributed. Plus plus a negative 3/2. So that's equal to negative 2. Oh, sorry, this one is gonna be 1/2, but it's negative 1/2. So I just find out all of them. So I just have to rearrange them. So g of negative 4 is being the smallest one. Less than g of 1 because that's 0. Less than g of negative 2. Less than g of 5. Hopefully that's B, right? Oh no, that's A. Sorry, I can't read. Very, very good question. Fundamental theorem, calculus, idea, understand graphing, understand polynomial design if you switch your levels. Very, very big deal. Yes.
How much time do we get like for every multiple choice question?
2 minutes per question, but usually you first, there's 30 questions, right? The first few questions should be less than 2 minutes, should be like 1 minute and like 10 seconds. And like on a question like 29, it should be like 2 minutes and a plus. So it'd be 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes on the last few questions. So you can save some time very beginning and waste more time at the end. So yeah, 2 minutes per question.